From downward dog, lift your right leg up, bend at the knee, stack at the hip.
And bringing that knee over behind that right wrist, setting up for pigeon pose. Maybe we come down onto the elbows. Hold here for a few breaths. Now, even though this may seem like a resting pose, you know that this is nice. This is a deep hip opener. I would encourage you guys to keep belly nice and engaged here so we don't dump all that weight onto the leg, onto the floor. Keep the core nice and engaged. Replanting the palms, we're gonna lift out of this, releasing that right leg back to downward facing dog. Maybe we circle out the hips one direction, circle it the opposite direction. And then straightening out the leg, plant it back down for downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend at the knee, stack at the hips. And setting up for your pigeon pose onto the left side. Again, keeping that belly nice and engaged. Maybe you come down onto the elbows. Or if you're not into this, you can keep your torso upright and just use the palms for support. You could always choose to go a little bit deeper in this posture using the forearms to create a little forehead. Or you can stay upright just like Hannah's doing here with the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Breathe. Slowly releasing from this pose, we use the palms to lift the knee, lift the hips, extend that left leg back first. Again, options to just circle out through the hip, circling the hip one direction, and circling the opposite direction. Straightening out that leg as you exhale, plant it back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees as you inhale, look forward, and exhale lightly, step or hop to the top. Making your way to seated position, let's begin our cool down, you guys. Extend the legs in front of you. Inhale, you reach the arms. Exhale into your Paschimottanasana, nice forward fold here. So if you guys find difficulty reaching for the toes, you say, quote unquote, I'm not flexible, bend your knees. Then see if you can reach for the feet. Belly here is nice and sunk in towards the spine. Avoid hunching over, so do the best you can to keep your spine long, keeping the chin tucked here. Let yourself go deeper, and then slowly rise on up. Use the core strength to roll yourself steadily all the way flat back onto the mats. Squeezing the knees towards the chest. Maybe you roll yourself side to side. Prepping for a supine twist here. Release the grip of the knees. We're going to stack your right thigh over the left. Reach the arms out, letter T here. You can melt your hips, your knees one direction. You want to go with Hannah. Hannah is taking the twist over towards the right side. Totally cool if you guys want to bring the knees over to the left. Making this twist a little bit richer, you can always turn your neck opposite of the legs. Come back up to center, unstack and restack. Left goes over the right this time. So again, same deal here. If you want, you can let yourself melt the hips and the knees over to one side. Melt it towards the other. Maybe take your neck and change direction of your focus opposite of the knees. Coming back up to center again, releasing now the stacks. As you hug the knees into the chest, coming into your happy baby pose. Let the sacrum flatten onto the floor and doing the best that you can to stack the ankles over the knees. driving the knees a little more towards the armpit, towards the floor. A little bit of rocking side to side, totally optional, totally up to you. And then for last call for hip opening, grab onto the big toes, straighten out one knee at a time. If this feels wonderful to you, go ahead and straighten out both knees. Again, just doing the best you can to keep your sacrum nice and grounded. Inhale the legs all the way up to the sky. Bending at the knees, let yourself rest down onto the floor. This is your Ardha Shavasana. I'm asking you guys to keep the knees bent for a few breaths here. Hug your shoulders, give yourself a tight hug. Good. And then maybe for last call, you pick up the shoulders, tuck your chin, curl yourselves all the way towards the thighs. Slowly release back down onto the floor, release the hug, and then spread the arms a little bit wider than usual. Releasing now the legs, coming to your full final Shavasana pose. Legs are about hips width apart or wider if that's comfortable to you. Arms are open, palms are open wide. With the eyes closed, allow yourself to sink a little bit more towards the mat, towards the floor. Allow yourself to just breathe in, breathe out. Go back to your normal rhythm of breath and let yourself just surrender for the next few minutes. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Adding movement back to the body, wiggle your fingers, your toes, circling through the wrists, your feet, your ankles, your elbows. Just move them about the opposite direction. Bending at the knees, give yourself a nice tight squeeze here. Slowly roll yourselves over to the right side and use your arm for a pillow. And with the eyes closed, use your palms for support to lift yourselves back up to seated. Let's go ahead and inhale the arms all the way up. Palms together as we exhale, bring them right over the heart. Thank you all so much for joining us for practice today. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Namaste. And thank you, Hannah.